It is scary how fast I can accept the feeling of my wish fulfilled once I realized what is the meaning behind this Neville Goddard quote that I want us to contemplate together in this video. So, my friend, if you've been practicing the law of assumption and you have been like a student of Neville Goddard teachings, stay with me until the end of this video because you realize like how you can just surrender to a feeling on the inside that will let your imagination be overwhelmed by all the imaginary scenes, like all the scenes, all the circumstances that are contained within that feeling that make up the reality of your desire. That being the case, my friend, if you wanna commit even further to your wolf assumption practice, let's directly get into the topic. So basically, a while ago, like a couple of days ago, I was reading his collections, like his books, and one quote just really resonated with me on a deep emotional level. So I remember myself, I read that quote and I was like, shit, this actually makes sense. It's actually, and then something in my body just like, I don't know, I felt this strange surge of energy that came from within my body and I started crying because I realized how it actually works. And that's why I feel excited to share it with you now. So here is what Neville stated. The conceiver is woe apart. Conceptions under such woe are not to be measured by past accomplishments or modified by present capacities. For without taking thought, the conceptions in a way unknown to man expresses itself. So when you have a conception of who you want to be, like when your desire, when your wish is already realized, well, this conception, it would obviously be a reality. And now what's interesting in this quote is that here is what Neville stated: the conceiver is woe apart. The conceiver, like the one who is suggesting to our subconscious mind the feeling of our wish fulfilled, the conceiver, like this pure naked awareness of being, like unconditioned awareness of being, this is the conceiver. This is the most primordial form, the most naked, the most ancient form of what we can call you. So this you, the conceiver, it is beyond any walls. It is woe apart, meaning that anytime you get into that state of unconditioned presence awareness, unconditioned awareness of being, you are beyond any limitation that you would create with your mind that would, in a way, restrict the way your desire should manifest. And so the conceiver is woe apart. Conceptions under such woe are not to be measured by past accomplishments or modified by present capacities. What does that mean? Well, anytime we start imagining what is the feeling of my wish fulfilled, then we start in a way unconscious to us, we start to compare that feeling to how we were able to experience the feelings of our wishes before in the past. And so before in the past, when we wanted to achieve some goal, we needed to go through some circumstances, to pass through some circumstances and like some actions that we do to get to the state in which that goal was already realized. But here is what, again, this quote states: conceptions under such woe are not to be measured by past accomplishments, meaning that your past accomplishments and what you were able to achieve before in your life, for the woe of assumption, it doesn't matter. And it doesn't matter specifically for the reason that the conceiver is woe apart. The conceiver is beyond any woes. It is beyond any conditions. It is beyond any any limitations you would put on how this feeling would manifest itself. So this state of unconditioned awareness of being is beyond any conditions, is beyond any woe. And so conceptions, the ideas that you suggest to yourself under that woe, conceptions under such woe, are not to be measured by past accomplishments or modified by present capacities. So your skill set doesn't matter, like your abilities, your skills, your strengths, your faculties, they doesn't matter. They don't hold any power when you're working with the wall of assumption. Because through the wall of assumption, if you first get into that unconditioned state, awareness of being, unconditioned awareness of being, when you reach that state, and from that state, what you perceive, like what you conceive, what ideas you conceive, they're already, they contain within them the plan of their self-expression. So without taking thought, the conceptions in a way unknown to man expresses itself, because the conceptions that you suggest to yourself through the wall of assumption are beyond any walls, beyond any conditions. This means that they're beyond thoughts, beyond your thought forms, beyond thinking in the first place, meaning that you're starting from a feeling. The conception that you suggest to yourself is a feeling. It's in this most ancient, most naked form, most crystallized form. It doesn't have to have any thoughts. You can just start from the feeling. And now remember, the feeling is the secret. And so the conceiver, who is the conceiver? The conceiver is pure, naked, unconditioned awareness of being. It is not you. It's not the identity that is now listening to my voice in this video. The conceiver is you beyond thinking, meaning that in this state of unconditioned awareness of being, if you just stay in that state for a while, say to yourself silently, I am, I exist, I am here. And go beyond the thoughts to the experience of being, unconditioned awareness of being. From that state of unconditioned awareness of being, you can just choose a feeling. You can choose the feeling of confidence. And then you find yourself starting to become confident from within. You can, for example, choose the feeling of fulfillment. And then you find yourself starting to feel fulfilled within yourself. You can directly start with the feeling. You don't even need an imaginary scene. You can start with the feeling, and the feeling will create all the imaginary scenes in your mind. Because conceptions under such wall, conceptions under the wall of assumption, are not to be measured by past accomplishments or present capacities. For without taking thought, remember, we are ignoring thought here. We are going directly to the most naked primordial form of you, unconditioned awareness of being. And from that state, there is no thought, there is no thinking. It's beyond thinking. Without taking thought, the conceptions in a way unknown to man expresses itself. The conception unknown to man expresses itself. Meaning that if you do not condition your desire, now this is again something that Neville states, if you do not condition your desire and just accept it as it comes to you, you have a desire of something, and then you accept the fulfillment of that desire already, starting from the feeling, because you know the conceiver is all apart. There is nothing for you to do to allow yourself to experience the feeling. The feeling is the secret, and it is already there. It is contained in the most naked, primordial, unconditioned awareness of being. This awareness of being, it is beyond any conception, meaning that you can just state to yourself inwardly, how would I feel if I were secure now? If I were abundant now? And then you just drop that feeling, that question. And so what happens? Such acceptance of your desire is like dropping seed, fertile seed, into prepared soil. For when you can drop the thing desired in consciousness, confident that it shall appear, you have done all that is expected of you. So, my friend, it's not as hard as as following some specific form of like imaginary act or like step-by-step process to assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled. No, if you just stay for a while in the unconditioned awareness of your being, from that unconditioned awareness of being, you can just choose a state. You can just choose to, okay, how would I feel if I were confident? How would I feel if I already felt the fulfillment that I would experience once my desire is realized? And so this is what personally for me allowed me to get into the state of my feelings already being fulfilled. this contemplation. And I highly suggested, my friend, contemplate on Neville Goddard's work. Don't just apply the practice. The practice is great, but if you contemplate on what he means by through reading his books, you'll get so much, like, you make this wall of assumption and the practices of assuming a feeling so much easier for you because it makes sense. Can you see? It's logical. Again, I'll read it for one last time. The conceiver is woe apart. The conceiver is woe apart. It is beyond woe. It is beyond conditions. Because thought is required to create a condition. Thought is required to create a woe. Like thinking is required to create a sequence of thoughts that make up a sentence, and this sentence makes up a woe, makes up a condition. But the conceiver, the one who conceives the ideas, it is beyond the thoughts, it is beyond thinking, it is beyond woe, it is beyond conditions. And so conceptions under such woe, conceptions beyond conditions, beyond the woes we make with our thinking mind, conceptions working under the woe of assumption are not to be measured by past accomplishments. Your past doesn't matter because your past, again, it's like a construct of thinking. And they're not to be modified by present capacities. Your skill set, whether you're worthy of your desire or not, or like whether you can, you have the skills required to do the things needed to experience your desire, all of this doesn't matter because the conceiver is beyond any of that. And so without thinking, without taking thought, the conceptions, in a way unknown to man, expresses itself. And this is where faith comes in. So can you have the sufficient faith to just allow yourself to accept the feeling of whatever it is you desire? How would you feel when your desire was fulfilled? This is it. What is the feeling? If you know what is it? For me, for example, it's confidence, it's fulfillment, it is security, it is the feeling of bliss. All of these feelings, I can directly embody them with this quote, with this contemplation, by just putting myself into this present state of unconditioned awareness of being. And from there, how would I feel if I had the confidence, the certainty that all of my desires were already being fulfilled? Because I am the conceiver, I am beyond the conception of my desires. Meaning that if I am beyond them, there are no limits put on those desires. So I am free from thinking of how my desire must manifest. I can just accept the feeling of confidence. And then you just let that feeling overwhelm your consciousness. And when you're all charged up, then you can just let it go and continue with your day. And so it doesn't matter, like all the inspiring ideas, all the people who are part of your manifestation, they will come supporting you. It's like it's beyond your control. What you can control is how you feel. So can you accept the feeling of your desire already being fulfilled? Because, my friend, feeling is the secret. Remember that. So this contemplation helped me a lot on applying the law of assumption. I hope it will do the same for you. And now there is one process, one guided meditation that I do in one of my videos talking about the law of assumption, where in that guided meditation you can reach that state of unconditioned awareness of being, and from that state let your imagination be overwhelmed by the desire, by the feeling of your desire already being fulfilled. So if you want to check out this meditation and you want to try this process, check it out here. I will put it in the end cards so you'll see it. You can try it out and you can make this even easier for you. Thank you so much for watching, my friend. If you found this video to be helpful, like it, comment down below. Let me know what has been your biggest epiphany studying Neville Goddard's teachings. And if you're new to the Soulful Relationships channel, subscribe to the channel, and I would love to see you around. Thank you so much for watching. See you in the next video. Bye-bye.